Hello and good morning, afternoon, or wherever you are, evening. Welcome to Queens on the Rise. I'm Queen. Today we're going to talk about Jeannie and Jeezy, as it is a big topic these days. And the reason I'm going to talk about them is not about their divorce or what all that. I'm going to talk about the mental part of it, the mind space, because so many times everybody's so quick to want to blame somebody for something or whatever. If you all remember in one of my earlier videos, I said that we are all responsible for our own part in our own life. Now, most women want to say, well, Jeezy did Jenny wrong and so on and so forth. And then the guy saying Jenny did Jeezy wrong because she cheated or whatever. Right now, I'm going to look at the facts. Fact is, this is not Jenny's first marriage. Fact is, I don't think she was blindsided, because if they truly, in fact, had been separated for a while and he was trying to figure out if it was going to work and he gave it that time and found out that it's not going to work, then he has that right. Everybody has to protect their own mental health at all costs. And just because you bring a baby into the world, don't mean you have to stay with the person that you don't want to be with, even if it's your wife. If that person is not healthy for you, then the two of you together is not going to be healthy for that child. Everybody keeps saying, what about the child? What about the child? Me personally, I think this is the best thing they could have done for the child. Why? Because if you have two parents in the house constantly bickering, constantly fighting, constantly going at one another, trying to see who's the more strong one and who's the more manly of the two, it's only one man in the relationship. If you're in a heterosexual relationship, it's only one man in the relationship. So having said that, I watched all of the videos, a lot of the videos. I ain't gonna say all of them because I know there's so many more out there I haven't seen, but I have watched a lot of the videos. And the one thing that keeps coming across is the fact that Jenny herself said that she has a dragon. Understand what I'm saying? She has a dragon living inside of her. And she had to learn to either tame that dragon or suppress that dragon. And let me let you know something. Anything you try to suppress will eventually come back out. You know, because until you learn to get rid of that completely, and if you're just pushing it down, the least little thing will make that dragon come back out. I can only speak from personal experience. I'm a strong woman. I've always taken care of my mom, my family. I did my part to do what I had to do. So when I got married, I expected my husband to take over that role. I don't want him to take over that role. But when it got to a point that I saw that he slipped even a hair, I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. I just snatched the hat back and went on about my day. And he sat me down and said, listen, we in this together. I'm a man. Allow me to do that. And when I fall short, tell me. Don't just take over. And it was hard. It was hard because I had been on my own since I was 13 years old. Doing for myself, taking care of myself. I got married in my 20s. That was a long time to be so independent because you had to be. And then to allow this person to come in and just take over that. And if they're not doing it the way you would have done it, then you feel like they're doing it wrong. I mean they're doing it wrong, they're just not doing it the way you would have done it. But if you're getting the same result, don't matter how the process happens. Give him a chance to be that individual, to do what he's trying to do. And if it gets to a point that he's not doing it, can't do it, or won't do it, then you take that hat back. And then Jenny said, I triggered him. Triggers. Do you understand when somebody trigger you? You can go from really high to really low and everything in between. And nobody deserves to be triggered in their own home on a daily basis for whatever reason your dragon is wanting to shoot fire. That's not fair. It's not fair to the relationship. It's not fair to the individuals in the relationship. And it's not fair to any children in the relationship. Because what you're teaching that child at that point is that, especially if it's a daughter, and it's the mama that's doing it, you're teaching that child that no matter how hard he tries, or no matter what he does, if he's not doing it exactly the way you want to do it, the way you think it to be done, then he don't deserve to be the man of your house. And that's why so many single women, black, white, Spanish, Asian, Indian, that's why it's so many single women. Because we've been so independent for so long. We refuse, not that we won't, we refuse to let anybody come in there and try to change that, try to remake that, or to try to do that over. But when you come together and you come together as man and wife, and you say, I do, that means I do allow you to lead this house, to lead this family, and I'm going to trust you. I do trust you to do this. And if he proves that his trust, the trust you gave him, that he's not worthy of that trust, that's different. But every human being makes a mistake. Every human being makes a mistake. And if it's a small mistake, that's one thing. But if they keep making mistake after mistake after mistake, then you need to look at something else. Like I said, this is not the first time Jeannie has been married. She was married to Freddie. And she went on a rampage for months on the real about how bad this man was, how terrible this man was, how hurt she was. And then it all came out that she was the dragon. The same dragon that she said she didn't know she had. Come to find out, she was the dragon. I was watching the real one day. Her and Mama Mai was in the car. Mama Mai took off her bra and put it on this man's head. This is Jenny's husband. Why is his mother-in-law putting her bra on his head? That's disrespectful. It could steal somebody's manhood. And no man is going to continue to take that. So why would you continuously do what you say you don't want done to you, but you do it to somebody else? If you want him to help you to be the best part of you can be, then you have to help him be the best part of him that he can be. It's only fair, ladies. Come on, queens. We know what this is like. And if you don't want to be in a relationship, be it heterosexual or other kind or whatever, and if you choose to take on that feminine role, then you need to stay in your place and understand that femininity is what that is. You can be strong, you can be powerful, and you can still be feminine. But being feminine don't mean you destroy and crush everything and everybody that comes in your path. Because that's not feminine. That's very, very masculine. And like I said, whatever relationship you're in, if you take on that feminine role, stay in your place. Stay feminine. And also, if the man is not doing what you need him to do to lead your family into the future and beyond, then you sit down. You have a talk with that man. I said talk. I didn't say yell. I didn't say scream. I didn't say fuss. I didn't say nag. I said talk to this man about your position, how you feel, excuse me, your fears, your concerns, your desires. And then, if he doesn't want to hear that or he's not able to do that for you, then maybe you're with the wrong man. But accept that. You don't get to drag him afterwards because you chose him. You chose him. So by you dragging him, it only speaks volume about you, that you don't have a good taste. You don't make good choices for yourself. So while we out here trying to drag these men that we choose or chose to be with, that speaks volumes about us. That means we're not healed. We're not healthy. We haven't evolved because we're still picking the same man with a different face. And that's not healing, and that's not evolving. So keep your mental health intact. Keep his mental health intact. And I promise you, I guarantee you, any children that's born in that union, their mental health will be intact. Queens, mental health is real. And somebody suffers from it on one level. Everybody has a little bit of it. but some is higher than others, and some can cope better than others. But we don't get to blame somebody because they don't do it the way we do, or the way you would have done it, because you're not them. You don't have their plight. You don't have their struggle. You didn't have their upbringing. You didn't go through what they went through. And because you would have did it a different way, don't mean they should have did it that way. That's not fair. If you wanted somebody to do it just like you, then you should have married you. You should have married yourself. You can't procreate with yourself, but you should have married yourself, because it doesn't make sense to want a carbon copy of yourself sitting in beside you all the time. If you want a carbon copy, take a picture and put it beside you. Let these men be men and women be women, because there is a place for each of us. God said so, and you know so. There's a place for femininity, and there's a place for masculinity. And yes, we both, male and female, possess both. But stronger femininity, if you have stronger femininity, then you need to work with that. And because you had to do so much for yourself for so long, and you say you've prayed for a good man, and you asked God to send you this man, and he send you that man, and you dog him, that's not fair. That means you didn't trust God, you didn't trust the plan, and you did not trust the process. And the process is what gets you to the other end. I was watching another video. I think his name was, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. I think his name was Kim Pyre. And he was telling about the same thing, that we have to learn to understand these words, these triggers, and these things that's coming out of people's mouth. And Maya Angelou said it best. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Because that's important. So many of us want to get this person, say, oh, I found them like this, but I can make them like that. No, you don't have the right to make nobody anything that they are not capable or called to be. Because what you think you see in that person may be your desire for that person. That may not be their calling. So we have to work with people's calling and what they were called to do, what God sent them to this earth to do. And we don't get to change that, because we're not God, and we don't get to judge. And if you chose to be in that relationship and it went left, then bow out gracefully. Like I say, be a lady, be classy, be strong, and keep your mouth shut. Because whatever went on in that relationship, you were also part of it. You had a part in it. You made it happen. So therefore, shut your mouth. And also, ladies, when you sitting a bit dogging these men to your friends and your mother and your family, and because you forgave him, they haven't. And they're going to keep reminding you, oh, you remember this, and you remember that, and you remember this, and you remember that. Because they want you to remember what he did, however long ago, because they remember. So if you don't want that, shut your mouth. Keep it to yourself. Short of him beating you and dragging you, you keep it to yourself. You shut your mouth. Because you know you're going back. And if you're not going back, then cut it off. Let it go. And if somebody asks you what happened, we just agree to disagree. And we agree to go our separate ways. Because Freddie never dragged her. She made him sign a that he couldn't even talk about the divorce, the marriage, or nothing. But yet she spent every day for almost a month or more on the reel dragging this man, because she knew he couldn't say a word. So therefore, he couldn't even defend himself. And that makes no sense. And far as everybody's like, but she deserves something. They signed a prenup. Yeah, she did. And so did he. And the reason she wanted that prenup was because she didn't have one with Freddie. And she didn't want Freddie to get any of her money. So Jeannie has her own money. Jeezy has his own money. What makes her entitled to some of his? All she's entitled to is child support. Period. Because she signed it. Nobody had a gun to her head. Nobody had one hand tied behind her back. She said on the real, she would never go through that with another man. She would make sure she always has a prenup. So if she didn't write it right, that's not Jeezy's fault. Because you thought it was going to last forever? Why? You had a sucker on your show that told you this was not going to be your last marriage. So you already knew there was a problem because you asked that question. If there was no problem, you would have never asked that question. Because I don't ask questions that I already know the answer to. I don't ask questions hoping for a different result. That's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, hoping for a different result. I'm perfectly sane. And I know that if it's not working for me now, it's not going to work for me then. And I'm not going to keep on banging my head against the wall because after a while I get a headache. And it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the pain. Because not everybody looking at her sideways. Everybody looking at Jeezy sideways. And the only person that's hurting from this is the little baby. She's not even 2 years old. Why does she have to hear this? Why does she have to go through this? So my advice to Jeannie and Jeezy, get it right. If you need to stay divorced, stay divorced. He's asked for custody partial custody of his child. It's his. He deserves that. And from what I see, the little girl loves him, just like she loves her daddy. And everybody say, oh, well, she just made this prayer with her daughter, and then a few days later this happened. Jeannie Mai is very, very calculating. She's a celebrity and she's an actress. Don't forget that. She's an actress. And she could crocodile tears and she'll let them flow like the river goes. Women, see through the madness. Don't just jump on her side because she's a woman. Because that's how we all get caught up. We all get hung out. And we be like, oh my God, I can't believe I fell for that. Yeah, because you wanted to. I'm neutral on this. Because it's not my business. It's not my life. It's not going to affect me one way or the other. Because I'm going to live regardless. But what I want you all to do is just step back. Go through all the old footage. Go through all the old things that she said. She even said she want her dark meat on the side. So why'd you marry it? Tamar even asked her, why? She said Freddie preferred blonde hair and blue eyes. And she preferred black men. Why were you with that white man, Jenny? If that wasn't your preference. Because he tried to make it work 10 years. That's a decade. That's a long time to be with somebody that you don't want to be with. He wanted kids because he didn't have enough money, you wouldn't give him kids. Because Jeezy had money, you gave him a child. So you made that bed, little girl. So now you got to lay in it. Bricks, rocks, fire, stones, and all. You made that bed. You chose that life. And you, Jenny, chose to put your life, your love on display for the world to see. I think it's all an act. I think she was acting because she wanted everybody to say, oh, I'm the perfect little wife. I'm the perfect little mother. I'm doing the right thing. But it's a smoke string. Don't let these people keep blowing hot air at you and you thinking it's the tropics. It's hot air. Make up your own mind, your own opinion, and don't go on what everybody else is saying because that makes no sense. We're all too old for that. If you anywhere past the ripe old age of 25, you too old for that. Because in that 25 years, you've learned something. Even by accident, you've learned something. Use that knowledge and let it take you forward. Let it help you grow. Let it help you elevate. Let it keep you calm. Let it keep you in peace, in harmony with yourself. Let your light shine within you. Public opinion don't matter. Because whether you're doing right or wrong, good or bad, I guarantee you, everybody gonna have something to say. Because you ain't doing it for everybody. You ain't doing it the way everybody liked it. Everybody's not gonna be pleased. So the only one you have to please first is God, then yourself, and then your mate. And if you're not right within, you can't be good for anybody else. She said she's gonna be after her divorce, she's gonna be a thought. She said on Access Hollywood with Mario Lopez. So and then you decide to marry this man and thinking you're gonna change him to make him this perfect little person you wanted him to be. And every time I seen him, he was in pink. What's up with that? Why do you have this man always dressed in pink? You even had him marry you in pink. Were you trying to demasculate him then? What was the purpose? Let him make up his own mind. Let him make his own choices. Let him make his own decisions to lead your house. And if he's not doing it the way you would have done it, doesn't mean it's wrong if you get the same results. That's all I have to say about this, Queens, because I just had to get on here. I had to say something. I wanted to watch and listen and let it play out a little bit before I form my opinion. And that's all this is my opinion coming from Gen X and a 60s baby. Been there, done that. So I'm hoping that some of you, Queens, will learn from what I'm saying. You have to stay in your femininity. You have to stay in your femininity. You have to stay in your femininity. Because once you step outside of that, you become a man. And no straight man want to be in a gay relationship. It's because you're a girl. And even in homosexual relationships, if one is supposed to be the feminine and one's supposed to be the masculine is not going to stay there once that feminine turns masculine again, because that's not what you signed up for. So think about that. I love you all. Have a great day. And I'll see you all on the next one.